Okay, this is a story you might like. My birthday's coming up, and one of my favorite stories was my 40th birthday. And I'm always asked to tell this story whenever I have a birthday, when family comes over. On my 40th birthday, my wife did something special for me. She bought me 2 tickets to see Jimmy Buffett. She knew I was a big Jimmy Buffett fan, and she went all out, man. She got us outfits to wear. I had a Hawaiian shirt and a straw hat. She had a grass skirt and coconut bra. It was crazy. She even got us a limo because she knew we'd be drinking that night, and she wanted us to be safe. She also invited our neighbors across the street to join in on the fun. So when I got my present with the 2 tickets, I was excited and a little worried at the same time because I've got a history with Jimmy Buffett, and I've been known to get a little crazy at those concerts. My wife never seen me like that. You know, I was always reserved a little bit. So, as soon as I said I do, I kind of buried that crazy guy, and so she never saw him. So I kind of warned her about, my past experiences with Jimmy Buffett, and she goes, "Well, what are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, for example, one time we went to a Jimmy Buffett concert, and there was a pre-party that we went to, and we drank, and then they bussed us to the concert, which was really cool. We didn't have to worry about driving or anything like that. So we get on the bus, and we're heading to the concert, and we get about a mile from the concert, and there's traffic. And the bus is just at a standstill. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and we were all hammered because of the pre-party. And so I stood up and I was going, "Buffett concert, yay, Buffett, Buffett, Buffett." And everybody in the bus was cheering with me. And I just finally had it. I said, "Follow me." And I said, "Come on." And I ran to the front of the bus, and I opened up the bus door, and we all start pouring out of this bus and start walking down the streets. It was almost like a street riot, if you wanted to call it that. And we're walking down the street, passing all the other buses that from that same bar. We're banging on those buses' doors and going, "Come on, follow us, follow us." Before we knew it, we had over 100 people walking down the street to the concert. We get to the concert doors, and they all let us in. And we kind of became like the heroes of that night. And they bought all our drinks for us the rest of the night. And it was a fantastic night. We had a great time, and it was just crazy. Just crazy. So I told my wife that story, and she goes, "Yeah, that's a little crazy. You don't want to be doing that on that night." And I'm like, I know. I'll be good. And so she goes, you need to monitor how much you drink. If you have a drink, then you need to drink water beforehand. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. And so we get in the limo that night. She's decked out. I'm loving the way she's dressed, and I got my Hawaiian shirt on and my straw hat, and we're having a great time. And the couple we invited with us mixed up some margaritas so we can drink on the way in the limo. What I didn't know was that even though the wife and the other couple's wife had normal margaritas, mine and the guy I was with had 151 tequila margaritas, and he didn't tell me that. And so I'm drinking this thing. It was big old margarita. I'm having a great time in the limo, and we made a couple stops, and I'm just chugging this thing down, and I was hammered before we even got to the concert. And my wife started looking in my eyes, and I started getting that crazy guy coming out. And as soon as we get to the concert, we get in the concert, gates and stuff like that. I'm running around like a crazy man, and my wife's going, "Oh my gosh, this guy's out of his mind." And she sees me run up to this guy. Guy had to have been almost 7 foot tall. He was huge. And he was like, "Holy crap, what's this guy doing?" And I grab him and I pull him down to me, and I'm like, "Dude, you're one big Buffett fan." The guy's like, "Dude, you need to chill out." And I'm like, and I just was running around. I saw this parrot, this guy with a whole parrot outfit, head to toes, feathers, the whole 9 yards. I was chasing them around trying to hump them. I was out of control. So we get to our seats, and I'm standing cheering, and the concert's going on. We're having a great time. At the end of the concert, though, I always try to get near the stage, so when they throw their guitar picks out on the off the stage, you can maybe grab one. I've actually got one that way once, and so end of the concert, I'm running to the stage trying to see if I can do that, and security saw that I was a little out of control, and so they grabbed me, okay, and they're like, "Dude, you need to chill." And I'm like, "I just want to get a guitar pick. I'm fine." They're like, "Dude, you need to chill out." And finally, one of the security guards stops and goes, "Bob, is that you?" And I'm like, I see him, and I'm still a little dazed, but I recognize him, and he's a brother of a guy I work with, and his last name is Shinaki. And so for the next 5 minutes, the only thing that could come out of my mouth was his last name. They were like, "Bob, you need to get back to your seat." I look at him and go, "Shinaki." "No, Bob, seriously, you need to go back to your seat." "Shinaki." It's like security guards at this point were cracking up, and they helped me to get back to my wife, and they tell her, if he gets out of his chair one more time, he's out, And so that's my story. My wife never, ever gave me that much alcohol again. And that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.